guys, this is Adaz Place, and today I have some very pretty ladies. Yeah, with me today. And yeah, I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll let them introduce themselves and also share their channels with you so that you can also follow them, get in touch with them in case they have specific videos that meet your need. Yeah. Anyways, the next I'll just go step by step. The next person is Kelechi. So maybe yeah.
Hi everyone watching. My name is Kelechi and I am an immigrant. Obvious, yes, I'm an immigrant living in Germany, been here for the past 5 years, and I have a YouTube channel where I share stuff relating to immigrant life in Germany. So you can just visit the channel, and if that's your kind of vibe, if you like what you see, then don't be a stranger, be a part of the community there, okay? Yeah.
And I've made a video with Kelechi before, so please,
You
OGs
know what to
know
do.
this, yeah. And today, for the very first time, the PB is gracing us. Anyway, let me just let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Phoebe, also known as Phoebe, because that's my inner energy, my inner animal. Anyways, I am content creator. My channel is the Phoebe Way on all social media platforms, and I also do life in Germany content. I've been in Germany for the past 20 years, and for me, it's a passion to just make sure that other immigrants or foreigners in Germany are feeling comfortable and at home wherever they are
Yeah.
in Germany, even part of because I don't know other parts of the world. I mean, any part of Germany, wherever you are in
Yeah.
Germany, that you feel comfortable.
Yeah, thank you, ladies, so much for gracing us today with your presence. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about how to secure a job in Germany and also kind of looking at the German job market, with the recent elections, everything that has happened, where do we go from here? All the topics, related to this. So without further ado, we would go straight into it. And for me to start, I would want to find out from, the both of you, what do you think is going on, in terms of, the job market, with the result of the recent election? How do you think this is going to affect the job market?
I think we're still in the safe space, if I have to use that phrase, because CDU is for to verstärken the workforce. They want to, you know, make
Strengthen.
stronger, strengthen. Thank you. They want to strengthen the workforce in Germany, and of course, they know that they need immigrants for this. Okay, like it was part of their agenda. Like it's part of their agenda. That's what they want to do. So they are still very much for having immigrants coming to Germany to work. Okay, which is like unlike what the other guys wanted. Like those ones wanted to, they were talking about having robots replace human beings, which that's very laughable in my opinion and in the opinion of several immigrants. So it's still looking good as a matter of fact. And also considering that they intend to form a coalition with SPD, we're still very much in the safe zone because then the opportunity card hopefully that one, I mean, it's not going to be scrapped out. I mean, and of course, like I said, considering the fact that they want to still, strengthen this workforce with immigrants, then they're going to do whatever it takes, maybe even make the policy better or bring in new policies that would facilitate this. But speaking with regards to the result of the elections and what they want to do for immigrant, like if they want to, allow immigrant workers to come in, definitely yes. I mean, from what we see, yes, it's a possibility. So
Yeah. And Phoebe, what do you think?
Okay, so it's good Kelechi has touched on people coming from outside Germany, that this is not looking too bleak. And the main point of CDU saying we are going to be repatriating immigrants, illegal who have committed serious crimes. These are the people that they have targeted to return back to their various home countries. If you are in Germany and you're still looking for a job within your field, if it's a job that you needed to be trained for or a highly qualified job, or even if it's just you trying to put your foot into the German workforce, the requirements are actually still the same, if not even more. Learn German, be more German, like not be more German, but have more German skills. Be someone who is also highly qualified. That's going to make it very easy for you. And if you also want to be someone, or if you are someone who is ready to take the risk of going through training, if you want to invest those 2-3 years into yourself and come out a better person, a better professional, then the elections are not going to change so much for you. But if you don't still have any kind of added values or skills that are in high demand in Germany, as in you are an asylum seeker with a rejected asylum, then we are not going to be, it's not going to be the same song for you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I was also going to mention for those that want to come to Germany, especially from Nigeria, particularly using the opportunity card, there has been a change in the German website, like the embassy's website. Now, if you have all your documents or all your required documents, you can upload this on the website, and once it gets approved, they can easily they will now send you an appointment date, which is relative, actually not that they'll send you, now go to a different website or a different link to get an appointment date, and it's relatively easier. I know someone that recently got his visa, the opportunity card visa, and he applied.
Mm.
I think it took about 2 weeks
From
for him
Nigeria.
from Nigeria.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking
That's
of
what
which,
the
did you guys realize that you're wearing the Nigerian color, the Nigerian flag?
Actually,
you
you
should
didn't
put
even
yourself in
realize
the
until
middle.
now I should be in. Ah, so yeah, I think that is already good news, knowing that, with the current government, it, at first when the elections were going on, people were a bit shaky and all, but with the current government, they still emphasize that they
Mm.
need skilled workers, and they're going
Mm.
to also prioritize skilled workers. So the most important thing is, are you a skilled worker? Like, are you skilled? And then if you come in here, you would also have to kind of dash the German terrain and, hopefully be able to get a job pretty soon. So both for those that are already in Germany and for those that are coming to Germany, what skill do you think, like in 2025, everyone that is trying to get a job should have?
So it goes without me saying German. And one thing that you would need in Germany is certain kind of cultural assimilation and detachment from your previous culture. Also work
Mm.
culture. Okay. And it takes a certain amount of realization and humility to say that, okay, what I learned back home is not really going to pull up here. So when you're applying for the job, just thank you, ma. Sorry, ma. Sorry, sir. No, even if you are the one applying for the job, you also have a certain stand, like certain leverage when you're dealing with HR and everything. It's going to also play a role when you go for your interviews and everything, because of course they're going to pay you, but also they need your skills. Okay, have faith in your skills, have confidence in your skills when you're applying for
Mm.
the job, and also always look for what is in demand in Germany before you apply for the job. Please ask yourself what is in demand, though, and possibly look for someone who is already doing that kind of similar kind of job in Germany, because I also see that a lot of us who are trained outside Germany, like, we are so theoretical that we don't even know how to apply what we have learned. But when you put them in a German company, you realize they know nothing, because they weren't doing a lot of internships and everything. So even when you are applying for the job as the first time, make sure that you have had some kind of internships that would allow you to, seamlessly, as much as possible, merge into that company that you're going to work, so that even if you have to be put on board and be trained and everything, it's not going to be from scratch. That you, at least you know what they're talking about, because you have some sort of experience. That's one thing that I see that a lot of people lack.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. And then what do you think, Kelechi?
Two things I'm going to say now that would seemingly look like they're going to contradict each other. But the first thing is, if you are coming from the angle, like Phoebe said, maybe you don't have a lot of skills, internships, and everything, like you haven't, when you were studying, you didn't gather enough knowledge that would see you through the first, as an Einsteiger, into a new job. Then, when it comes to the Gehalt, the salary,
Mm.
don't be very picky with the
Yeah.
jobs. Start first, get that experience, 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years. And then when you're going into your next job, if you feel like this one, if you're not able to get a better salary as you improve in that job, or as you climb higher in that job and you want to get another job, then the second thing that I would say that anybody needs to have as far as getting a job in Germany is good negotiation skills. If you know your worth, charge it, especially if you're a master's degree holder or you have certain set of sort of skill sets. Charge your worth. Don't be scared that, oh, if I still what, because one thing about these recruiters is that they have a budget for that particular role. So you should have done your research before going to any interview of any sort. So you should be able to know the average salary that whoever is in that role goes home with at the end of the day. So if you also know that, okay, your skills actually match that job, go ahead, apply for it, and prepare to negotiate for what you're worth. On the other hand, if you want to change fields, like I currently am planning to, even though it's not a work in the park, it's not easy, trying to switch from marketing to IT. If you think you have the time to do that, then do that. If you're not working at the moment and you're trying to switch, be sure that you have some form of income from somewhere before you do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would suggest, go ahead with, in whatever career path you're in, and just try to find some time, part time, to learn if you want to switch. But the basic take home here is do some sort of upskilling, okay, for your
Yeah.
current skill set. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I completely agree with what the both of you have said. And to even add to that, I would even say that if we look at the market trends, what is in vogue right now is artificial intelligence, ChatGPT and the likes. So I think right now a lot of companies are looking out for people that have some skill in artificial intelligence. So
Mm-hmm.
even if maybe you're not like an artificial intelligence engineer, there are ways you can use artificial intelligence to do your role and make it much more optimized, like much more
Exactly.
efficient.
Efficient,
So
yes.
that should be something that you should be pushing out. Yeah, this is how I use artificial intelligence to do so and so thing. This is what it turned out to be. If you talk about this, in your job interviews and things like that, and even on your CV, it kind of puts this like that. First of all, you're current. You like to stay on top of trends.
Trend.
And then you'll know how to use these trends as well. And then you're also a fast learner because when did e-commerce become a big thing and you've already grabbed it and you can already start using it. And to be honest, I recently heard there are companies that are cutting down some jobs, and those jobs are being replaced now by
By
ChatGPT and likes. So imagine if you can already use ChatGPT to optimize yourself. So that's something that I think would be a hot topic or a hot trend in this job market, especially in Germany in
definitely.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was going to ask was like, in 2025 now, knowing that there are a lot of immigrants in Germany, there are a lot of companies that are also international, they hire a lot of English speaking people. Do you think German companies are becoming a little bit more flexible on the language requirements, or is it still?
The thing is, we've always been on that whole Jack and German thing for a long time.
Mhm.
That's the truth. Some
Yeah.
companies try to be hybrid, half English, German. In fact, the honest truth is, all the companies I have worked in, like after studies or before the end of my studies, like as working students and after my studies, it has been half. One of it was completely in English. But when it comes to that time when you're supposed to chill with your colleagues and just, if you don't know how to speak the language, you will feel off. Because even though I feel like some German jokes are boring and dry, but yeah, because of my knowledge of German, I know when to ha ha ha, ha, even if I don't understand it. That's the truth, babes. Because
Oh my
sometimes it's not funny,
goodness.
but you can hear one or two things in that phrase, that their joke, that you'll be able to ha 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 with them. Do you get? So the reality remains that without that language, you cannot scratch a certain kind of surface off
Yeah.
in your workplace.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that no matter how international, I always say this thing in comparison to the UK or America. Imagine
Mhm.
that in America, we have quite a number of German companies like Bosch, Siemens, and all of that, And even though they are German companies, they're in America. And an American employee comes in. And you know that the company, even though maybe you have German customers that you interact with, but in your company, there is a high chance that they're like 70% of those who are there speak English. So if you cannot speak English, how do you want to communicate? I don't know if you get my point where I'm trying to come from.
Yeah.
So no
You
matter
are
how international,
projecting to a different country
yeah,
that's English speaking
yeah.
country. They
No
don't
matter
speak
how
English.
international a company is in a foreign land, it's very important that you, as a job seeker there, should be able to, even if it's B1, even if it's A2, just be able to communicate. And one thing I've noticed about this country is that even if your German is not superb, it's not clean, they never make you feel like you're not making an attempt. They even
Yeah.
like you like, they're correcting you. If you make any funny
Exactly.
mistake, sometimes they don't want to interrupt you. They just want you to speak. And when you're done, they now correct you. And they do it
Mhm.
out of love. And I've never been corrected in a very crass manner. Do you understand? It's
Yeah.
always out of, and then I take the correction mid conversation and I keep flowing. So many people who are in IT in this country who don't know the language, they always feel like, I don't need it. Yes, you don't need it. But imagine that you have IT skills, you have German skills. Boy, you will be able
Papa, I go
to
hot
make
pass
such,
you.
like, as in, you get, like, you will be like hot cake. That's the reality. So the language will always be very necessary, in my opinion,
I
Sha.
mean, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I also feel like even if you join the company now without the language, if you want to leave the company, and of course you want to also progress, you want to grow in your career and in your field and all of that, there are certain stages you'll get to. You might actually need the German, especially if you're in certain line of work, you know.
But you want to
So
climb to managerial role, for example. If you want
yeah,
to be a
exactly.
manager of some sort, a team leader of some sort, you need to be able
Mm.
to learn the language because everybody in your team will not necessarily always be English speaking people. Do you understand?
Okay, so let me ask Phoebe, how was your number one tip on curating your LinkedIn in such a way that recruiters, clients can see you and you get into the job space? She's adjusting. Okay, now.
So it's funny I'm adjusted because I am not a doer of what I preach when it comes to LinkedIn because I'm in a
Mm,
different job niche. Okay.
mm.
I was talking to one of my friends some years back. I wanted to change jobs and everything. And he was like, first of all, make sure it's your full name, baby girl.
Mm.
Put your full name there and put a nice picture there. It doesn't have to be that bevelbing photo where everybody's doing like this, doing like that. But look friendly. And LinkedIn is a place for you to boast. Okay. Put your achievements there. I don't do that. But if, for example, you started at a new job or your team, the team you work on, did something incredible, kind of personalize it and say, another win for this week was this, that. Of course, depending on how your company is. But the way you used to use Facebook, right? Use it in that way for your job. Let the person who is coming for you know that yes, this is the person that we are looking for. This is the things that it can do. Also, use keywords. For me on my
Oh God.
LinkedIn,
I feel seen. Sorry to interrupt you, but I feel seen based on what you've been saying so far on LinkedIn because I'm currently working on a course for job seekers, by the way. And in the course, I said you have to use, your picture that's well curated. You have to use your full name. You have to use keywords. And at the point I was like, but those are the things that worked for me. And now you've said it, it's making me feel like wisdom.
Please don't
Wisdom.
look at me.
This should
but
be
I
a
know you've been
sign.
always my girl. Every time I meet on Kelechi's channel,
Oh my
you
God. True, true. So please, just in case you
so
have doubts about the course, go and buy the course.
yes, please
Okay.
go and buy
But
Adaz
yeah,
course.
Phoebe, Phoebe,
Because
Very
I
important.
continue.
use LinkedIn as a self-employed person. I don't use LinkedIn as a job seeker. That's what I'm saying that I don't use LinkedIn like the way the normal person would. But few of my major engagements as an interpreter came through LinkedIn. I was asked on LinkedIn. So what you do, put it on your forehead. And what differentiates you from other people in your field, put it on your forehead, literally. Use the banner on LinkedIn. I even put on LinkedIn too that I'm a content creator because you never know who's looking for you. Okay.
Okay.
The links you'll find on my LinkedIn are also linked to the German language. So people know, this was years ago, by the way. German is not that hard. It's up to you to see it as a game that you want to conquer and win. I stopped posting on LinkedIn. I don't even know why, but the little I have done from 2021, I'm still eating from it today. So I think I should also go back there and posting, but these are the things that I will do. And one thing too that my friend told me that time that it's a tip I've given to a few other people that has worked is if you're looking for a job on LinkedIn, you know Ada is HR. Go to her LinkedIn and say hi, Ada.
Go to my LinkedIn, but go and buy the course.
Ada.
Yeah, no. So the thing is, a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn. I've actually helped a couple of people based on, especially those that want to come into the HR field. They tell me, "Oh, I have an interview. How do I pose myself? What do I say? Blah blah blah." And I give them these tips, and by God's grace, some of them have actually gotten jobs from there. So that's why I know that
Okay.
that's what I'm saying is the truth.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, I also have my 9 to 5, like full time. I'm not doing part time social media. I have other engagements, I have my social life and everything. I cannot cater to every single person that reaches out to me all the time. And that was
Sure.
why I said, let me just sit down and put this thing together. And to be honest, I mean, we create content all the time on YouTube and it's free and all, but this one costs a lot of money. If you look at the editing of the video, I know it myself. Money went into it. So of course, and it's not as if the price is that high. I feel like if you're serious about trying to get something, you can
You
put a little
invest.
token in, yes, to get the little information. Now, getting a job does not necessarily mean that, oh yeah, if you bought this course, you automatically the job is waiting for you out there. Me too. I'm also, in case you have a job, please give me. But the point is, don't mind me, I'm joking. I'm not looking for a job. I love the place I work. But the point is, the point
She's
is,
lying. If they're paying her more, she'll go.
except parents pay me like 100K to come. Anyways, the point is, if something has worked for one person and the person has tried it in a couple of other scenarios and it has also worked, and they say, oh, this thing has worked for me, maybe you can try it. I think it's worth giving it a shot. The truth of the matter is that looking for jobs is a game of numbers.
Yeah.
So you have to keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. You might even get offers that you're like, I don't see, like, this is not for me.
Potential.
Exactly. So you have to kind of position yourself in such a way that you can negotiate, as you said, Kelechi, and then you can also have people coming to you through the different networks you put yourself in, as Phoebe said. So yeah, go and buy the course.
Lobato, that's the end of story. End of story.
Okay. Okay, so moving on, I'd like to ask the both of you, what is your number one tip to networking?
So far, I've not shot any networking shot on LinkedIn. The only time actually that I have gone to a physical event where I actually networked career wise was that Google event that you invited me to. I did meet a couple of persons who I'm in contact with. I was trying to, it was tech related because I told you guys I'm trying to like transition. So I got numbers of
Mm,
a few persons who I was able to, from small talk, exchange numbers, and then got chatting, and I've been able to ask them one or two questions, right? So, I mean, a tip for me would be open minded, right? And be able to actually approach people and be approachable as well. And your charisma is what would make people actually, chill and be like, okay, let me hear what they've got, and try to even match your vibe and stuff like that. The other means of networking for me is actually reaching out to people myself. So I know that I know how to hold a great conversation. So
That's
I
true.
do know how to reach out to people. And if you give me a very good vibe, best believe we're going to be like, you would enjoy my relationship with you. That's my kind of person.
yeah, thank you. And Phoebe, what do you think?
So every time I come into a new setting, I try to win someone. In my line of work, especially when it comes to my side hustles where I'm self employed, I make sure that I introduce myself. I'm somebody who really loves branding. I have a business card with my name as the logo. I'm full of myself like that. When you are very forward with yourself, it's more like you are self-absorbed. It's not like in Africa where it's smiled up when somebody's really confident. But in Germany, they also want to see work, show working. You come out as somebody who likes to wear makeup, da da da. They see you like, something is striking about her, because the average German woman is not going to be wearing makeup, bright lipstick on a court day. So
Mm,
be different, stand out, but with something positive. Also, take your personal hygiene seriously, because nothing pisses people off when they're meeting you for the first time and you're blowing their mouth odor. And also, networking is something that you have to be patient with. You don't start networking
Mhm.
and believe to find a job tomorrow. That's why I say you have to leave something lasting in their memory. So is
Yeah,
it your
yeah,
business card
mhm.
that you give them so that if they want to reach out to you, they reach out to you again? And that's why sometimes it's going to be hard for us as Africans networking in Germany, because we don't know the German culture. We don't go skiing. So when they start talking about skiing,
mm,
you are pim. Try as much as possible. You need a language for that. Watch their comedy shows. Know the kind of things that is in vogue in Germany, so you can also be abreast with the kind of trends and culture things that they're doing. And for that, please
mm.
make use of your social media.
Yeah. Okay. So apart from, networking, how would you assess if a candidate is a cultural fit for a company or for a role? And how would you think candidates should prepare for this kind of questions?
There was a role that I interviewed for, and I was asked a couple of questions, and I guess that was their own way of knowing if I was a fit for them based on their work culture and their work ethics and everything. And I really remember a couple of the questions that they asked. I think one of them was if I were to be in a meeting with a group of people and everybody had their different opinions regarding a project, for example, and my own opinion wasn't taken, even though it seems to me that my opinion is better than the rest of the others. How would I? That was what they asked me.
Exactly.
And my reply was that this is a group and it's a group for a reason. And if every other person has made their points and I have made my point, which I think or I feel was better than the rest of them, I wouldn't impose it on them. especially considering that they have been working there longer than I, and they have probably tested and tried, several methods or several whatever, and they've seen which one from experiences, which one works best or whatever, whatever. So I would actually lay back and allow them take the upper hand. Of course, being that there is a superior there who is actually handling that meeting, for
Yeah.
example. Okay. And then I'm always open to meeting at a middle ground as long as that suggestion that was eventually taken kind of suits everybody to an extent, not completely. And then something else they asked me was if I was an early riser or a late riser. The reason they asked that is because of the fact that they have a dynamic work system. I think they call it Gleitzeit auf Deutsch.
Yeah.
So it's very flexible, most of them, but they have their campsite where people are supposed to be at work. And that's between 12 and 3 p.m., something like that. I can't remember. So they wanted to, use that to gauge if I was a fit to their style of work. And then another thing that they asked me, but this one was more like based on what they do. Like the job role was to be like social media and content creator for a brand that is like a fan club.
Mm.
We do stuff regarding series and all that and all that and all that. And to be very honest, I was even asked about the kind of books that I've read just to know if I was an actual fit for the kind of role that was. Answering your question, yes, I've been in this situation, and these are the kind of questions that I've been
Mm.
asked, especially that one of how I would react if my suggestion in a group was not taken.
Yeah. And Phoebe, do you want to add anything?
You just said something that it's common sense. And common sense is not that common. When you come to a new country, right, you have to have enough common sense to say that I want to know how to survive in this country. And there are certain things that the country thrives on. For example, equal rights for all. And these are things that some company, depending on where you're going to work, probably are supposed to make sure that nobody's being discriminated against. And you feel like, yes, I'm black and everything, I deserve the same right. But somebody who does not fit my description of what people should do should not get the same value as me or something. Such things you have to be very careful of. Know the country you are in and how the country is set up. Your opinions and how you will do things, please do it in your private life. But when you come to your work, make sure that you are doing things the way the country is set up. I hope that's clear.
Yeah, yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, finally, what resource do you wish is in existence that would help job seekers, find a job?
And that's cause for
This is what I'm talking about.
and that's what it is. Even though yes, they have sometimes there are but job fairs don't even give information and things like that. Job fairs don't
You
give
just
information and things like this. No, you just go there to actually get information on what
on the people that are
the
hiring.
company. Do you understand? But you don't get the tips and tricks on how to actually get and how to find your way.
Yeah,
So eventually, what resources that we need as foreigners is akin to what you have on ground already. And of course,
yeah.
YouTube videos. There is this YouTuber, he's a German, of course. I think his career guru is very good. I just started watching his videos recently. He tells you
Mm,
about everything that you need to do when you're applying, what to do on your first day at work, and stuff like that. But that's coming from a German perspective because he's German. And of course, it's good for you to watch such content. But it's also very important for you to listen to people of your kind who have been there
yeah,
before, immigrants
yeah,
who have been there before, who
Yeah.
know what it takes for you to actually get your foot at the door. So if you're watching this video and you want to get a job, go and buy Adaz course when she releases it. I'm actually going to get a copy for myself when it's out because I need to get one or two, so with this girl, God, they're so dramatic.
She's just hearing clink, 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 clink. She's hearing money.
yeah.
It's so
And I like the sound of
dramatic.
it. My money don't jiggle jiggle.
I can't.
I told you. I told you.
Thank you, Kelechi. Thank you so much. And Phoebe.
Welcome.
Oh, I can't think of what is needed because now I'm not looking for a job. Actually,
Yeah,
there's one thing I wish was more accessible. I wish it was more like a glass where we could always see how the companies are really like inside them. Because some of these
yeah.
companies, they look good outside. You go there, you come back with,
Girl.
PTSD and burnout.
I mean, glass door is there. It's just that it's up to the employees to put stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So some people don't put, but some people do. So it's like, yeah. And then speaking of resources, I mean, my course for sure, and of course, if Kelechi has already blown my trumpet and everything, but just to kind of talk about it a little bit, I realized that when I was reviewing the videos, then I saw that I would almost angry, like shouting. I'm like, you have to do it like this. And then okay, she said she was looking, that she's going to be talking about it from an HR side. I was like, exactly. Because the kind of CVs I see sometimes, it's like, who did we offend? Initial, like, what kind of CV is this? Now, you that wrote this thing and you sent it.
If somebody
In
apply,
fact,
applies to you with this, would you give the
will
person a
you give
job?
yourself a job? Do you get?
Mm,
But
mm,
I also understand that, of course, people operate from their, how do you say, their well of knowledge. You know,
mm.
you can't give what you don't
You don't
Don't
have.
have or
have.
what you don't know. Yeah. And that's why I was like, okay, do you know what? Let me just calm down, put this in together, and then let's see if it will help, some people, how it will help some people and all of that. So if you're watching the video and if you buy the course and you're watching the videos, don't think I'm like talking directly at you per se, even though I'm like, talking to you.
He's talking
Just
directly at you.
just take the information out of it, take the
Mm-hmm.
information out of it, and I hope that it can, help you. Another tool actually that I came across recently is an AI that can help you get a job.
Oh,
But yeah,
Also,
yeah, I haven't really explored it so much. That's why I can't really say so much about it. But someone reached out to me and then they wanted me to kind of do a collaboration with them. So as soon as I understand a bit more on
I
it, I
think
need to
I,
create
I,
content
I was
around that.
reached out to by I was reached out to some, yeah. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yes.
yeah. But one of the things I've seen so far is that the AI only right now it helps those that are outside of Germany. Yeah, not necessarily those that are in
ow.
Germany.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I think I
So
know. I
I
know. I've been reached out to as
Yeah,
well.
I'm reached
yeah, for
out to by
something like
next
that.
year.
So
Yes.
I kind of told them, in as much as people want to come in, there are people that are already here that need to, change jobs or change roles, and this kind of resources would actually help them. And they're like, okay, this is what something needs to happen in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
my point is, just keep your ears down. They said that they've reached out to us.
Mm.
Once we have more information, we'll come out and tell you
Get it
guys.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Exactly.
put your ears down. But anyway, this has been a very fun. Actually, it was so fun.
I didn't even know when the time. It's almost an hour.
It's almost an
Yeah.
hour, and we kept talking. I'm like, see, no, please, no. But it has been so fun. I'm so happy to have you guys, you ladies, with me, and talking about jobs and the current situation, how to find jobs. We really hope that this video would make an impact to whoever is watching. We really hope that this video you'll be able to learn one or two things. We hope that you'll be able to purchase the course. It's not expensive.
Are you saying the
It's
price
really,
yet? Or
at the
when it's
moment.
launching?
The
You've
thing
not
is,
decided.
I
Okay.
have decided. No, I have decided to sell it for €20
Okay. It's not
for
that expensive now. It's okay.
exactly for the video and the how do you say, the ebook, and
Resources. Okay.
for the ebook. But then if you want to get just the ebook, I want to sell it for about €15.
Mhm.
But yeah, the reason I'm still a bit like this is that I haven't put it on the platform yet to know what will come out of it. But it will most likely be €20 and then €15. So if in case you don't want to get the video together with the ebook, then you can just get the ebook separately. But yeah, I intentionally wanted to make it like very, very affordable so
Mhm.
that yeah, of course, if you're looking for a job, I don't expect you to be rich. So I expect you to just have
That's
enough to
fair.
commit, and then let's see how it goes from there. And there's also going to be like a WhatsApp community. So we can have people share information in case you have any questions. I'll also be sharing and dropping, some jobs I find interesting, maybe in companies where I have friends that are recruiters and, can refer you and things like that. So yeah,
That's really
thank you
nice.
so much. I'm hoping to be the
You're
community out of
welcome.
this. I really hope. I really
You
hope.
You
will.
will. You will because there are a lot of people in that job pool like
Yeah.
who are
Yeah,
looking to find something ASAP. So yeah, you definitely will find. You
yeah, and
will.
I'm hoping that I'm
That's
also
it.
going to be able to help them because I don't want to just gather people somewhere and
Yeah.
they're looking at me, I'm looking at them. We can't really help each other out.
I
So yeah,
understand.
thank you guys so much. If you've watched up to
Welcome.
this point, please subscribe, like, follow Kelechi and Phoebe. Kelechi, your channel is Kelechi Ibeleche.
Better. Yes, yes.
Yeah. And then Phoebe, yours is the Phoebe way.
Yes.
Wisdom. So, so I'm going to also put links in the description box. So please check them out. They talk about, also things that are related to Germany, things that would you'll find very, very interesting too as well. So
Exactly.
yeah, This is where we're going to wrap it up for today, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Germany.